Please say hi to everyone who's there. Please put your countries in front of your name also. So thank you. I've already said hi, Anastasia, Sultan, of course, Deborah, Mandy. Mandy,
Hello.
please put on your video. And Tina is there.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the invitation, Vikram, this day.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see you all. I mean, most of you.
Okay, so Sultan was saying something very nice. Yes, Sultan, please,
Yes.
you'll have to repeat yourself a little
Yes.
bit.
Nice to see you, everybody. And I live, I speak, I read. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay,
No
yes.
problem, no problem at all.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Dear Vikram, thank you very much for your invitation. I'm very happy to celebrate this meaningful day, the International Day of Peace, with this community. The other thing, I also very exciting for me. You are launching the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Mediation Circle, which is part of the World Mediation Circle. As you said in your invitation, mediation will play a critical role in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030 and promoting a culture of peace. I wonder how we can do this locally and internationally. It is very valuable to take action by recognizing our individual and collective responsibilities. I'm curious about our roadmap from now on, so it's meaningful for me to be at this event today. However, today is to express my regret. I have to leave this. Event early because I will be attending. Okay.
Another event. You have to go for another event.
However, today is the wedding of my dear friend Burcu. I would like to express my regret. I have to leave this event early because I will be attending her wedding, but I will watch the whole event on YouTube. I also wish the mediation will contribute to achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals and to the separate of the culture of peace in my country and around the world. Even if it is a dream, it is very nice to follow this dream. I hope this beginning will reach its goals as soon as possibly. Thank you for your efforts and sincere advice. Okay. So,
thank you very much, Sultan. Very nice message. Of course, work has to happen. We'll discuss how work has to happen. But first, congratulate your friend from all of us for her wedding. And of course, lots of work has to happen. So, Anastasia, please. Okay. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Mandy from Greece. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi.
So,
hi, Anastasia.
So what's going to happen, Anastasia, is your little message on the International Peace Day, and then your thoughts a little bit on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and how mediation can work there. You want to talk about any specific goal or general, whatever you want. So please.
I start?
Yes, you start.
Okay, some ideas. I think that the thing is, most people are troubled whether this peacemaking is a collective liability or an individual one. Actually, I believe it's a joint, it's a partnership. But it's very important to start from individual level. This is my opinion. This has to do with our educational system, our trainings from school, from home, to start developing a peaceful mindset. A conflict resolution is not based, I'm talking about Western societies, my society, is not based on a peaceful resolution. It's mostly more competitive and aggressive ways that are more familiar to our community. However, in Greece, as in many countries, the first peacemakers appeared years ago, I mean, in ancient Greece. So it's not something that we cannot achieve. Actually, there were servants. I don't know if Mandy knows that. In ancient Greece, the servants of the masters, when they heard some problems, they went to the neighbor's house, delivering some food, and they started, bridging communication in order to resolve the trouble that, their master had with other neighbors or with other citizens of the city. However, we have been westernized, we have all this aggressiveness via mass media. So for us, it's very important to start from early age. From school mediation in Greece is not yet established. Mandy will correct me, and I think she's more experienced. We try to reach the problem from up from the, so let's say from the governments and going down. I believe we should do it both ways. And also, I saw in the Arabian countries what they do, which is not so popular in Greece. They have communities. So people, resolve their problems through smaller communities rather than address them to a more official authority. So in the beginning, when the conflict is in an earlier stage, can be dealt with communities, which means citizens, partner, associating like you do. We're a community. People, can do that on a local level. And then on an international level, I think, you, Vikram, are more, competent to say that. It's a big effort. It must be introduced through international institutions so that they can realize that, mediation actually will play a critical role in the years to come and the generations to come. And the last comment is that I see young people, they're trying to resolve their problems more easily. They don't want to fight or to struggle, maybe because they're more soft. It's the technology generation. I mean, this generation is more soft than, earlier days. It's another kind of hardship they're going on, and they're more familiar with, peaceful ways of discussions, or, I think that, I'm positive that the new generation comes, with the help of the society, the families, with parents, and also we mediators, definitely, with our own example in our personal lives, not only in our professional life. So this is my, first, let's say,
initial thoughts.
Food for thought. Food for thought. Thank you.
Look, the idea of the World Mediation Circle and then creating mediation circles under that was that you have to look at global, local at the same time, because everything is connected. So you have, of course, what will happen in schools and colleges and communities and organizations, but everyone is part of the larger whole. So everyone will contribute there. And of course, I mean, as we go along, each issue base, so a global climate change mediation circle, and now this sustainable development goals. Let's look at each of them. Wherever there is an opportunity, let's bring in mediation. So I keep saying that these are the seeds that I want to put out there. And as we go along, I mean, they'll grow. I feel they'll grow. So we have to keep putting them out. Maybe as much activity as we want might not happen, but I'm sure things will happen. So basically, this is what we're doing right now. This is the mediation circle that I put out there. So that's what's happening, part of the World Mediation Circle. And of course, mediatorvikram.com, what will happen there is that there will be lots of mediation circles which will keep getting listed, and there will be links to join that. So right now, the World Mediation Circle, there is a section there where there's a form. Just fill that form up and I'll get in touch, and then further other circles that are going to happen, we'll put it there. So that's just a little bit on that. And now, whom do we have? Who came in? Sultan has already said all the nice things. So then, Alex, Tina was there. Tina, you want to unmute and tell us, or you want to put on your video and tell us what your thoughts on International Day of Peace are and on the circle? Yes, Tina, are you there? Tina is not there. So yes, Alex, your thoughts.
My thoughts. Hi, everyone.
Serious, my thoughts.
Hi, everyone. Well, my thoughts about peace. Of course, it should be spread everywhere, and And what I think, but I will just repeat a bit what I heard, it's very important, and it can be, and it has to be brought locally, step by step. It's everybody's role, let's say, to spread peace. And no matter where you are based, what is you're doing, it's this mindset that, as you, Anastasia mentioned, that exists forever since ancient times, that we just need to keep on spreading. So there is no formal, we don't need to so much a formal way to develop peace. Like, I like this UN video that they posted today, like peace starts with me, and I think it's very important. And as you said, also, it's a global issue. So the idea of being part of a whole is a bit to support ourselves also in this path, and to remind that we are not alone in doing this, because it's not always easy sometimes. And zoom in, zoom out, to have ideas from other point of the world on how we progress, or how we do this kind of activities. So I think the most important idea about peace, it touches any topic. Of course, war places are maybe the worst places of consideration, but it touches everything: our job, our home, our family, our friends, our I don't know, suppliers, anybody we are in relationship. So it's a big job we have to try and bring peace everywhere. So let's be, I don't know, courageous. Let's be courageous to do this. And this is my thing. And just to finish, it's a good day also to remind this, because some of you know maybe, but I had one time in life experience. I just finished as a humanitarian at the Polish-Ukrainian border, and I had the huge luck to work for a boss from UK, who's just turned 30 today. So her birthday is like 21st of September, and I am happy to be motivated to remember that day for two good reasons, like peace, and my great boss who taught me to be also a kind of a new peacemaker, adding this humanitarian French to my, let's say, experiences. Voila.
But Alex, what is the boss's name? Let's all wish your boss.
You will never believe me, but she's also Alex.
Okay.
So maybe there's some stuff in the names as well to bring peace. I don't know, but
okay. So basically, happy birthday, Alex. And I'm sure you did great work at the border. And of course, Alex has been someone who's really done great work there. So, but we just have to say bye to Sultan, because she wants to leave, go to a wedding. So
have a good party.
Yes.
Bye,
Yes, Tina, you're back now. Please, your thoughts.
Yes, thank you. Sorry about, I had to grab something that was delivered. Well, thank you, Vikram. I always try to thank you, because it takes someone to step up, put in the effort. And look at all this effort you put in. I feel blessed to meet all of these wonderful, talented human beings that I get to listen to. And learning for me is everything. Like, I can never see a time in my life where I'm not excited to learn, meet new people, and get a better understanding of this world through the lens of their eyes. You asked the question, what is peace? I've been thinking about that a lot. I feel like peace is freedom, like freedom to coexist, to live your life without the threat of violence. I know that there's, in a broader sense, a peace in borders, but just having a life where you don't have to worry about identity threat, having someone persecute you, target you, and act out in violence because you don't fit what they feel is valuable as a human being. And therefore your life, you can't live your life freely under those types of conditions and circumstances. So for me, peace is a form of freedom to be able to live your life as you were intended to live your life, as you would like to live your life. So I think the conversation can never stop. We must always keep seeking, searching, trying, working, and doing whatever good we can to bring attention to the things that we know are wrong, not necessarily even being judgmental, but we know it's wrong because we can always do better. We know we're most capable of doing better, to bridge differences, not to change people in terms of wanting them to be who we are, but just to try to accept one another. I hear the word tolerance a lot, and I'm not fond of it because I don't see it as an equal, see you as an equal. I don't believe when I'm tolerating you, I feel like I'm not accepting of you. So I don't use that word much. So I think acceptance and peace for me is freedom. And I wondered if you feel the same, anyone feels the same way when you think of peace, but that's what my hope is in terms of a peaceful world. It starts with one person, like you're doing right now, Vikram, getting up at all hours, planning, reaching out, sending a billion emails out, and taking the time to do this good work. So that's why I'm up at all different hours, because I want to be present here in this space that you're creating.
Thank you very much, Tina. So that's how things grow. People come in, and then other people come in, and then that's the concept behind the mediation circle was this: create a little circle. Doesn't matter. It might be two people. No people will get added. 2 will become 4 and 8 and 16, and maybe we multiply it even more. A greater multiplier will happen. So yes, things will happen, but we'll get. Look, the idea is I'm going in the order that people came in. So Malu, Kristen, Marisa, will get you later. First, let's just get in Mandy. Yes, Mandy, all your nice thoughts. Mandy has some very nice thoughts that she has put out there, quoting Jimi Hendrix also. Yes, Mandy.
Yeah, I found something I love very much about peace. And I noticed that others say Jimi Hendrix said that, others Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, and others say that it was, I don't remember, there was a third also.
Yeah.
A third, I don't remember.
But Mandy, if you don't mind, we'll just say,
So
as people come in,
or-
as people come in, I can just say hi to, we'll get them later inside, but just say hi to Isaac and Valeria, and
Valeria.
Nanchang is also there somewhere.
Hi, hello everyone.
Yeah, we're just going in, but everyone just giving their little thoughts on International Peace Day, and then on a little bit on that circle, on the UN SDG circle, on their thoughts. So that's how it's going, but in the order that people came in. So you came in late, so you have to come in late on the thoughts. Yes, Mandy, sorry.
I was thinking and wanting to share that this, if we could spread the feeling, because I believe it's much more a matter of feeling, that it is a power feeling, the feeling of love, which is peace. Somebody said, if you want peace, create love. So if we could spread love feelings and compassion and forgiveness and all these very principal feelings that we're trying to rise in mediation, it could be a way to create peace. also. But also I realize, while I think that people need power, and the power is something that we have inside. And first of the peace outside is to bring, to help, to find peace in mind, peace in self, to not have internal wars, dilemmas, fears. These feelings, I'm afraid, are the ones that cause misunderstoods and scenarios and all these things that cause the problems of peace. So I believe it's so nice if everybody would realize how powerful for themselves is to feel in peace, to have a peace of mind and peace in their life, in their families, how strong you feel when you feel like that. And all these beautiful feelings like happiness and joy and all these things come together with peace, and war and all these things are for anger, anxious, fear, all these negative feelings. So I believe that if the best wish to let others speak, and I hope I have the chance again, but I was thinking that if we say for people at the end of their life, sleep in peace, and this person is forgiven from the alive ones, why not to do that in lifetime? So to enjoy these peaceful feelings.
Okay, so basically everyone has to create that little mediation circle of their own first. Mandy, mediation circle, coming into peace with herself. Then we'll talk about Zakynthos and Greece and US. Okay, perfect. So we'll, of course, I don't know. I don't know whether there was someone who came in before Malu, but yes, Malu, how are you? Your thoughts, and of course, Malu has some wonderful thoughts. Yes, Malu.
Oh, thank you very much. So first of all, here in Brazil is good morning. So good morning, and first, so thank you very much for being here. And well, in general, I would like to say about peace. I would say that the best mediator is the heart. It's it's in between the brain and the actions. It's the heart. So we have to ask: is it legal? Is it okay? Is it legal? Yes. Then you ask: is it fair? Is it ethic? And if your answer is, well, is it unfair or is it anti-ethic, so don't go, don't act. Okay. Well, I would like to tell about. I would ask for 5 minutes, so just to tell you about our mediation system in Brazil. That Brazil is the country with one of the highest litigation rates in the world. Can I talk about this?
No, Malu,
Vikram?
no, Malu. Those are other sessions. We'll do that in other sessions. Today it's about the nice things.
It's another day.
Your thoughts.
Another day.
We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you.
Another day in paradise.
Yes, we'll come back to you on that. Right now, it's about your thoughts, like you said, on peace. Yes. Anything on the UN SDG? Anything on the UN?
My thought of peace is this, and that's it. So okay. Your good advisor is your heart. So between the brain and your actions is your heart. That's
perfect. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Valeria. Yeah. How are you? What are your thoughts?
My friend, always a pleasure to be with you. Natasha, my friend, I miss you so much. Hope to see you this year again. Peace. I think peace comes with education. I think we are lacking on education, educating our kids, our young adults to be polite, to tolerate, to respect. I think I do believe this is the path to peace. I think we are not doing a very good job on this. I mean, you see everyone hating each other, and just because we don't see the same way, we don't think the same way, we are not allowed anymore to have different opinions. So respect and toleration and education, this is the easiest and fastest way to achieve the peace we all hope for.
Getting the children in school mediation circles. Every school should have a mediation circle. That's what we try to create. There are lots
I
of
remember
that.
I remember that song from Whitney Houston, "The Greatest Love of All."
But I tell you, Valeria,
The-
the concept is you have to sing it. There is no concept of talking about it. She doesn't know that. You have to sing it. So come on, this 1, 2, 3.
No, not at this time. I can send you a link to the
No.
song. It's a very old song from Whitney Houston. The first time I heard it was when I wasn't. I think I was 9th grade, 10th grade, something like that. I was really young the first time I heard the song. And it speaks about the children, how we have to teach our children about the greatest love of all. That's the way to peace.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm saying last time what happened was that when we were celebrating World Peacemakers Day, everyone sang. So
I remember
course,
that,
yeah.
but I'm not gonna sing today for you. Sorry, my friend. I'll rehearse maybe next time.
Okay. Hi, Kristen. Hola. You want to give your thoughts, Kristen, on International Peace Day? Anything you want to tell us? Tus pensamientos sobre el Día Internacional de la Paz? Yes, Sristan, anything? Kristen said he won't say anything. That's what he had said. And Kristen has organized a conference today. So he's going to be, that's something that he's doing in Ecuador. Let me just put that up first. I think let's put up your conference up that you are doing, which is happening in some time. Let's do that first.
Greeting.
Good day. I just by putting up the picture for your conference that you've organized.
Hi, Vikram. Greeting to all.
Yeah.
The listen.
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah. Hi. Greeting to all. I want to express you that I can understand and match your expression well, but I can speak very fluent. But I'm happy to share with you. One moment.
Earlier, Kristen was not speaking at all in English. Now he started, at least slowly, he wants to attempt it. And that's really nice, Kristen.
Yes. In Ecuador, this geographic and the cultural diversity in mosaic of the range from the majestic mountains of Andes, we discover the life on the rooflands, the Amazon jungles, where the Amazon River in the large the world, and shared by 6 countries, the Amazon River. We can say this is of natural. In Ecuador, is evidence by the 20% the Ecuadorians who today believe in mediation over ordinary justice. Quevedo, my city, city university. Quevedo, city of the work. Quevedo, city of the pace. From always and forever. Loving in Quevedo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kristen. And of course, hi, Mohammad. Hi, Dorothea. Everyone's going to get a chance to talk about their thoughts on International Day of Peace and a little bit on the SDG and how mediation can fit in. So everyone will come in on the order that they came into the Zoom session. So Marissa is going to be, Marissa came in after that. Yes, Marissa. Of course, Nanchang and Isaac came in, but I don't see them. So Marissa, it's your turn. And I'm very sorry about the certificate. I'm really, really sorry. I'm a little this thing on that. I'll send it to you, please. So Marisa, your thoughts, International Day of Peace. But you'll have to unmute yourself, Marisa. You have to unmute.
Okay, hi. Hi,
Hi.
Vikram. It's nice to be back. You know, peace, once a baby is born, it has no concept at all about what's gonna happen. So his values are developed from the way people interact with him as a baby until he grows up. So as a baby, peace for a baby would be when there's no need for him to cry because he's getting everything he wants from people around him. And then as he grows older, he goes through an education system and friends and an environment that makes him either get more positive values or get negative values in the process. So I believe that peace is something that you value in yourself. So you have to be a peaceful person. But that is developed because of an environment that allows these positive values to develop. So when I was in college, when I was already an adult, a teacher, a faculty member of a university, I got invited to join a program of the UNICEF, which has a Living Values Education program. In it, that Living Values Education program teaches 12 universal values, and we do this on through activities done by teachers in a school setting. And one of the things that is in that program is how to teach people, how to teach students, how to teach young people the value of peace, justice, etc. And one of the activities that is values are imbibed, they're not taught. So they have to go through activities that will make them appreciate what that value is. So one of the values for peace is, one of the activities for peace is conflict resolution. So once we know that they have imbibed this because we see it in the way they interact with their classmates, their fellow students. So one time there was a story of a teacher who said, oh, there were two students quarreling in his room, and one student started the conflict resolution process, which is, what's wrong, listen to you, what's wrong, what is it that you can do both together, you know? And that was nice. So there are two things that I think for peace to grow, two things. One is you having the internal value, and secondly is providing an environment where peace can grow. That's why right now I am involved with a mediators group called Mednet, Mediators Network for Sustainable Peace. And one of our programs is to develop stronger institutions so that peace can grow within that institution. And for it to grow, it means that we have to train people internally in that institution to be able to do mediation. That's it, Vikram.
Yeah, perfect. What we'll do is we'll come back in terms of specific goals and how we can do work on each of them. What needs to be done.
Incidentally, one of the things that we do in that Living Values Education program is celebrate September 21 as the International Day of Peace. So we hold activities within the school. Sometimes it's not just within the university, but it is a conglomeration of several universities having one activity about peace. And usually these are done by students, of course, headed by the teachers who have been trained in the Living Values program.
Perfect. The only thing I want to just tell Laura Lorber, whether she, I don't know, I've sent her the Zoom link on Instagram also, please join, because she's put some comment on YouTube. So please join. So what we're going to get Dorothy, and Dorothy has to come in first. Dorothy gets such positive energy when she comes in. So Dorothy, yes, thoughts on International Day of Peace and the UN SDG Circle, please.
Thank you, Vikram. Thank you very much for the invitation once more. And thank you all for being here. I would like to send you all my greetings, all my love to peacemakers all around the world. That's what we are, right? Peacemakers. And that's what everybody is, I believe. And we are here to help and spread the word about peace, especially today, which is the International Day of Peace. And I think peace is something that involves everything, right? Involves equality, involves equity, justice, everything. Right here, right now in Brazil, we have a discussion in the National Council of the Judiciary. For those who don't know, I am a judge. I'm a federal labor judge, and our CNJ, which in Portuguese means the National Council of Justice, is about to discuss a very important, is already discussing a very important subject, which is the equality of gender in the judiciary. There is a proposal from the president of that council, who is the president of our Supreme Court, Minister Rosa Weber, and she is proposing that the equality of gender has to be observed in the judiciary. That means every time a judge is to be promoted to a higher court, superior court, we call here the second instance, segunda instância, it has to be observed that the differences in gender, for example, if the last judge who was promoted is a man, the next has to be a woman, and so on. If the last judge was a woman, promoted was a woman, the next judge has to be a man, right? And this is very important. And I think it has all to do with peace, right? Because it talks about equality, it talks about equity, and equality and equity are all together in the concept of peace. Because if we have differences, different treatments to people who are equal in their essence, right? So if we have the difference of treatment, we don't have equality and we don't have peace. The differences only make us far from each other, okay? And so I think this is very important. And so today I am talking about this. I'm talking about the things in common between the International Day of Peace and the equality and the equity in gender. And not only in gender, but in everything, right? I'm talking about gender because gender is in the now here in Brazil, at least, it has been a subject that is being discussed. But I also talk about other things like age, like race, okay, and nationality, all those things that make us different, but also make us the same, okay? So we have to have an eye for that. And the mediators, we are mediators. The mediators, we are always working with equity and impartiality, okay, and the neutrality. But that neutrality sometimes is a myth, right? And we have to work on that.
I did a whole symposium on that, Dorothea. Neutrality and mediation. We have very interesting thoughts which came there. So you must watch that. Yes.
I will. Thank you. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much for being here. And I welcome you all, my friends. And Vikram, you are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mohammed is here. Mohammed, hello. Your thoughts on International Day of Peace. And we have a organizational mediation circle launch, which is coming up on the 16th. So you have to be part of that also. Yes, Mohammed, your thoughts. If you unmute, yes. If you unmute, it'll help. Yes.
Hello to everyone. Hello, my colleagues. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm hearing to you. I'm listening to all of you. All what you said for me is correct. But I am someone from the United Nations, you know, and I have another culture of peace. So when we talk about peace, is referring to, you know, to the day when the United Nations have had chosen, you know, the 21 of September as Day of Peace, as to fight or to combat against violence and against ceasefire. These are the origin of this day. Then from that we can build peace in our environments. But the initiative came from the United Nations, who decided that 21 of September should be Day of Peace, International Day of Peace, to be celebrated by the humanity, or at least those who are participating in the United Nations, for stopping violence and for ceasefire, because there were a lot of wars in the world, as it is the case right now. So for me, peace is, we are building a peace as a building. And then it depends how we are built up that building. And some of you they said, okay, we need education. That's right. We need equality. That's right. We need equity. That's right. All these material can help us to build that building of peace in which each human being can function, can work, can live in such a building, which is a peace. Coming back to the mediator, yes, I am a mediator, and all what I'm doing is for a peaceful result, for not having any problem between people with whom I'm working. So there are a lot of ingredients to put in that kind of things to come to the peace. And the main ingredient for us, just to have a reference for us, is the human rights for each person, in which you can find everything. If we can apply them, then we will be in peace with ourselves and then with others around us.
Yes, that's it. Thank you very much. Good thoughts. But where is Isaac gone? Isaac was here. Isaac, where are you? Are you just going to say something, or are you just going to be there somewhere in the background?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
So let's hear your thoughts. Or
Okay,
you have to be
thank
invited.
you.
Huh?
And
Just, yeah.
it's good to meet you, all of you, once again. Vikram, thank you for the good job that you've been doing for all of us. Today, being International Peace Day, is a special day in Ghana as well, that we are also celebrating the birthday of the first president of the country, which is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So today is his birthday. So it coincides with the International Day of Peace, which is a very remarkable day for us. When we talk about peace, I see it more as something that everyone should be able to recognize as a communal asset. But if one can be able to recognize peace as communal asset, it has to come from within. So having peace within yourself as an individual speaks a lot. And for us to achieve the peace that we are all looking for, it starts from one person. So the inner peace is something that we have not been able to develop much into that we always talk about peace. But you, the person that you're talking about peace, do you have peace yourself? And something that I think we have to talk more on. If people have peace, it transcends in whatever that they do, and the outcome on the larger space or the communities will be peaceful. So that is something that I want to say. And my focus has been on the SDG goal 16, the 16th one, which is to promote peace, justice, and strong institutions. So if we are able to achieve peace. Peace will come as a result of people having justice, and justice will also come as a result of people having strong institutions that are able to give the justice to the people. So I think it works together, building strong institutions and making sure that the institutions deliver the peace that we are looking for. If we have institutions that are supposed to give food and they are not doing that to make sure that people have food, definitely they will have peace. So what you see as peace may not be peace for some people. So I think when we have strong institutions and they are able to be able to deliver on whatever objectives of which they were set up, then definitely people will be able to get the peace that we are all looking for. Everybody is crying for peace, but we have to look within. And I believe that we can achieve peace when we look within and work more on that. Thank you all. And
so basically, what Isaac, we have to launch the Isaac Mediation Circle, like we take by Mandy also. That's it. No one else is required.
Definitely. My mediation circle will come on very soon.
Inside you, everything. Yes, perfect.
Yes,
good.
Yes.
So okay. Desiree was saying his signal is better now. Yes, Desiree, your signal is okay. You want to say something here? If you unmute yourself, will help a lot. You want to unmute yourself? Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for helping organize this event. I'm Bonima Desire, a young mediator and a Burundian refugee in Rwanda. I make mediation in refugee community, but also in a non-refugee community because they are those who are neighbor. Peace is very important for us, for me, because when we make a better mediation, there is possibility to have sustainable peace. It is very important to discuss about peace because there are many ways to develop techniques to promote the peace. For example, using a dialogue to promote conference or organization so that we can gather different ideas, because before having peace, we have to understand each other. I thank you very much for this event. It helped us, I think.
Thank you, Desiree, for joining us. Now, of course, Desiree is a refugee from Burundi in Rwanda, and we are launching the World Refugees Mediation Circle. So that's going to happen soon. We just have to fix a date for that. So there's going to be launch of mediation circles and meetings of mediation circles. That's it. The only thing that's going to come up is there's a in conversation with a beautiful mind with Michelle coming up on the 28th. So yes, Nuria, what's the plan? If you want to speak in English, Spanish, anything, not a problem. But you'll have to unmute yourself.
Hello everyone. I will try to speak in my very bad English. I have this, bueno, don't worry. Don't say I don't speak, and I have write 5 things. I'm going to read it. Please wait a moment here. First, thank you, Vikram, again for being able to move all of us who work for peace, mediators, facilitators, only people who loves peace. In this Peace Day, I keep the phrase from the Manifiesto de Sevilla in 1986. Our ancestors invaded war. We can invade peace. I think in this day we all want peace, and we must be making this for peace and just thinking about making good things like you are doing since several years all together. And thank you for all of you. Thank you, Vikram. And now I must go out because I have work and then I must say bye-bye. But I promise I'm going to go to English class again for speaking and speaking and speaking. Bye-bye. Thank
No problem at
you.
all. But Nuria, we have to launch the Spain Mediation Circle also. Yeah, that also has to happen. So, but Kathleen, we'll get you in a minute. But anyway, hi, seeing you for a long time. But we'll get you in a minute. We have to get other people in who are. Terence has been here for some time. Yes, Terence, your thoughts on International Day of Peace and on the UN SDG. You've got all the goals behind you. So where mediation fits in. So please, Terence.
Thank you, Mediator, for giving me the floor. First, I'll introduce myself. I'm Terence Fang from the United Nations Youth Parliament here in Cameroon. And I am also an SDG consultant. I've been working on major peace issues here in Cameroon. I come from an organization where we use internally displaced persons and refugees. We give them the opportunities to rebuild and become, to reintegrate back into the society. So for this day, one of our events which we organized for them was a capacity building on SDGs, so they can use SDGs as opportunities to rebuild back the community. So once more, I'm grateful for this platform, and from what everyone here has shared, I think I've learned a lot and I'll be able to take back to these communities.
So thank you very much for joining us. And of course, one round after this, we'll have on the goals, SDG, and where mediation can fit in. But we had Senel, I can't pronounce it properly. Senel Sekile. Senel, I can't pronounce it properly. I'm sorry. You want to come in? You want to give your thoughts? Yes. No. Okay. So Kathleen, it's you. Your thoughts on International Day of Peace. Anything on the SDG?
Hello, my dear friend. How have you been?
Good.
So busy being mediator man around the world. Peace be with everyone from the border of Juarez, Mexico, and El Paso, Texas, where my work office is, where I am right now. We broker peace every single day as we cross the borders to each other. It's a lovely place to have a work office. But more importantly, such a joy to be together. Thank you, Vikram, again, for doing something again for the world of mediation so we can continue to
and again, and again,
and
and again. When is it going to
He
stop?
always makes fun of me. Every single time I come on, Vikram makes fun of me. That's how such good friends we are. So how have you been, my friend?
Good, good. Only thing, look, now the events are going down and mediation circles are going up. That's the kind of activity which is happening. So we'll have to, the USA Mediation Circle has to happen. So you have to be part of that. So that launch has to happen maybe next month. So that's what. Any other thoughts on International Day of Peace? Anything that you want to?
Yes, thank you. I think we carry peace within us. And as we walk through life, we bring peace. It oozes out of us and we have impact. I always raise my daughters to say, you know, everyone that comes into your presence should feel good about being with you as much as possible, like a vaccine. So I think we need to really focus on ourselves. And I think we diminish sometimes the impact of us, but we bring peace with us. And as we develop and grow as people, mediator skills help us grow as people. We bring that peace moving forward. I'm traveling to Mumbai next week, I think first week in October. And it's going to be my first step on Indian soil. And I'm very excited to see what this American girl can do over there during this tournament in Bombay. So much love to everyone. And I'm going to sit here and do some work and listen to everyone talk. Oh my gosh, look who's here, Nanchang. Lovely to see you. We just finished teaching together in Nigeria. Yes. So this is what we can do as mediators. So much love, everyone. And I will be done talking now.
Yes.
And also to you, my friend. Much love.
Thank you, Kathleen. Yes, Nanchang is here. So Nanchang, what are your thoughts? Not your politician thoughts, okay?
I will give you a power of attorney to speak on my behalf then.
So yes, your thoughts. International Day of Peace. What do you have to say? What is your message?
Well, my message is I'm happy that we are we are having people all over the world who are actually interested in peace, and they are making efforts to contribute to peacemaking. And it is actually not surprising the extent to which people are beginning to become aware of ways of resolving conflicts, and more people are embracing ADR, embracing peaceful way of amicable settlement all over the world. Speaking for Nigeria, I know that Nigeria is actually developing and is coming to terms gradually with alternative ways of resolving conflict. So I am happy and I am proud that we have an avenue where we connect with each other and we get to know that people all over the world are committed to this process. And I am really excited and happy with Vikram for the good work that he has been doing. He has been bringing a lot of mediators, a lot of ADR practitioners, peace practitioners together, and they network among themselves. I know that through Vikram, I was able to connect with several other persons who are actually interested in developing peace and contributing to peace in their both Africa. And I know it was through him that I met Victor, and we became good friends. And Victor is doing a great work in Kenya. And I am really, really excited. So kudos to you for bringing us together.
Actually, I'm changing my name. It's not going to be Mediator Vikram. It's going to be Matchmaker Vikram. That's what's going to happen now. His name is going to be changed. You have to.
Peacemaker.
Matchmaker. That's all. But Nanchang, in Nigeria, Mediation Circle, we have to work on developing that. So that has to happen. Okay. Now, September, October, it's only mediation circles being launched. Lots of interesting ones are happening. Okay.
Yeah.
The only person left out is Sanale Seki. Sanale Sekile, anything that you want to say? Want to come in? I see him somewhere there. No. Okay. So I think everyone has said that basics. Now, no one is talking about the UN SDG and each of those goals and how mediation can fit in there. So who's going to talk about that? Any specific goal? Any in general? Anyone wants to come in there? How, when we say no poverty, where does mediation fit in there? Zero hunger. Any thoughts? Anyone, please? Was there 16 everyone talks
Vikram.
about? Yes, please.
Mandy.
Yes, Mandy, please.
I wanted to offer some thoughts for starting our conversation on that. While I was reading about all these goals, I realized that there is a very specific, of course, goal, the number 16, which is about justice, and it forms very well, but of course, and peace. Of course, when they talk about peace, justice is, of course, a place that mediation in most countries officially apply. So it wouldn't be difficult to use this goal for our purpose in mediation, but also in peace. I realized that it's the mediators that they are talking about when they talk about stopping war. Of course, not in the very specific meaning of the mediator, but of course, it is not by luck that they use this word. And of course, this word is a word that is used to talk about a middle person who doesn't take the part of one or other side. It's a person which is in the middle, a person who can help the parties of a war to realize what are the needs and the interests that they have to find a way without war to resolve this conflict. So I believe that if we realize that this thing we are talking about, this peace, we are talking about is some kind of balance. And when people have their needs covered, the feelings they have, because needs are the reason we have feelings. So if the feelings we have are, when the needs are covered, then the feelings are peaceful. And when not, or we feel that there is something wrong about our rights or our needs, then that's why we all say we fight for our rights. It's a phrase we all use, even if we don't mean war. But even if we go to the court, we go to fight for our rights and to win or to lose. So it is, I believe it is very comfortable for mediation and peacemakers to be involved in this goal, the 16th about peace and justice. And of course, I would say that not in a very romantic way, but it sounds like that. If we all realize that we are cells of the humanity, and humanity is one body, we are all one body. It's like we have a disease in ourselves and we fight inside. We have all these illnesses that come from inside. When a person, when the brain and the body thinks that there is a stranger in the body, but it is attached to our body. So that's something like that happens in humanity. We are one body, all human beings and all humanity. If we realize that this is like a disease which will for sure harm and take off the healthy, peaceful living, maybe.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. But I just little digression. I just want to put up what's coming, that in conversation with the beautiful mind that I was talking about, that because this hasn't happened for a long time. This show itself, I think last one must have been, I don't know, maybe January or whatever. So this is coming up now. That's Michelle's birthday. She's, of course, is going to be very interesting. So please do listen to it. No one else participates in it. It's only me and her. But please watch it. So yes, yes, Dorothea. Yes, Dorothea, please.
I will talk because I have to leave. I have to take my daughter at school. I have this mission today. And I would like to say that I believe mediation is related to all those themes, right? Because it's humanity. So it's humanity, it's peace. It has a relation with all those, especially, as Mandy said, justice, right? It's a way of making justice too. So we have to observe all that, because if we live in a world that doesn't have gender equality, if we live in a world that doesn't have, that has poverty and hunger, we won't achieve peace. Okay, so I believe mediation, when it comes to peace and mediation, all those things are interconnected. Okay.
So now we need mediation circles in each of them. So global climate change mediation circle, I had put out there earlier, but we'll have environmental mediation circle. Then we have the schools, obviously the school mediation circle. So please give ideas on that as to those circles that you want to be part of or want to create. That also has to come out. But you were saying something, I cut you off. Yes, Dorothea, you were saying something.
No, I just wanted to say those words and to reflect on those words. And yes, and I believe we can come up with ideas for each one of those. And I would think about it.
Now it's not ideas. Now it's only circles. It's all circles. Get
Yeah,
people
I
in.
know.
Like be it two, like I said, be it
Oh,
two, be it
if
four.
you want to know if I want to participate on those
That you have
circles?
to participate. Yes, you have to participate. The Brazil Mediation Circle also you have to participate. But any thoughts on any other mediation circle that needs to be created, please put it out there, because there's an interesting one that's
all the mediation circles?
on 13th. We are launching.
Create mediation circles that are interconnected. I mean,
everything is interconnected.
Gender with race, for example. Okay, something like that.
The interesting one coming up on 13th we're launching is called the Natural Disasters Mediation Circle. So that's those kind of interesting thoughts come in, and we put them out there and we create the circle. But we will have gender related and everything also. But Anastasia was right there in the beginning. Anastasia, you've been sitting there for so long. Any comments that you? Thank you, Dorothea. Thank you for coming in. And
I have to go.
We'll have
kisses to you all, hugs to you all, and peace to everybody. Bye.
I hear very carefully everyone. I mean, it's very interesting how we put pieces together. I saw the topics really quickly. I don't know them, but I understand that, we can contribute, each one of us in our field or according to our personality. It's individual. I mean, I saw training in education, training, gender equality, like my colleague, the judge mentioned. I see well-being and good health is important. Everything. I think all the topics have their own value. The thing is, each one of us can understand which is our niche. How can we have more impact, let's say? I don't know. I was troubled about the NGOs. I have been a member for quite a while. I was in an NGO for human rights. I don't know if you have reached them, and I don't know if they do really. I mean, they can join circles, so they have their own members, and the circle can become bigger and bigger. There's a lot of discussion, debate on NGOs, whether they are politically independent or not, things like that. But sometimes they have good intentions because they have, let's say, a greater, pool to address. I believe also that each country has its own issue. You mentioned natural disasters. In my country, Mandy knows that we have huge natural disasters lately. Fires, floods, people dying, homeless people. It's really a mess. The planet is changing. So each country has its own problems. Other countries have huge hunger issues or huge health issues like, malaria. So I think each one of us can give its own small piece of, knowledge and courage and try to make a circle. It's actually a circle for all of us. Yep. So it's really nice that and the number is 13, that you have the last one, because it's a really nice, the 13 is the last topic that you mentioned. Okay.
No, but I think what you said about the NGOs, I've been trying to always been saying that the mediation circles are going to be an alternative to advocacy, activism, and politics. A lot of NGOs get into the activism and advocacy part of it. So the idea is that you have a space for conversations, for dialogue, for collaboration. So that's a little difference in terms of what the approach generally has been, because that has been the approach, and that's the only way we'll get things done. So we'll take a board and we'll sit somewhere and we'll protest or those kinds of stuff. Mohammed is still smiling on that. Okay, yeah. So the idea being, let's have conversations, let's try and get that whole approach going. It's going to be it's a totally different approach for people, and I don't know how easy it's going to be to bring people out of that advocacy, activism, politics part of it, but a slow step, one by one, we'll take those, and I think we'll get there. Yes, Mohammed.
No, I'm just laughing because you're talking the activism of the ONGs, and then I work with them, and I see it's very easy when you start to work with them, and everything is very simple and it's very equitable. But when it comes to the financing, of the ONG, and then the things can change because there are some influences, there are some targets to be taken into account, and then the ethic of the ONGs sometimes can change and in the implementation of their projects. So just to tell you this kind of things, but not all the NGOs are like that. You can find some of them that are very correct. They are doing a very, very good job in the field. So let's be more optimistic, but we have to take that kind of things into account in this approach.
No, I'm not saying that. I mean, I have anything against that. That is also an approach which will exist. I have no issue with that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It does exist, but you have to deal with it.
Yeah. So exactly that's an approach, but this approach is something that we'll have to develop, because I'll tell you the biggest issue is that having conversations, are they valued? Is it something that people value, that you're creating conversations, you're bringing people together, or do you value actually in some way protesting and fighting, and people value that what NGOs and other people bring in? So we'll have to just, it's not going to be easy adoption because adoption of it, because definitely it's a new way of looking at it. Can people actually sit together and resolve things? No, they can't. You need to do something more than that. So it's a good approach, but Terence is going to give his thoughts on this. Terence, please, your thoughts. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Thank you. Honestly, I think,
yeah, Terence.
Okay. I personally think, just like what I had the same idea like Mr. Bashir was saying. So I think I'll go in line with what he was saying, because I think here from his point of view, we've actually applied that here, and we seem to have positive results from what he was saying here. So for me, I think that the approach he was trying to use is not definitely the best, but since we're still in the pilot stage, we use many different approaches, and what Mr. Bashir was saying is one of the things we use, and we're actually having progressive results on that.
Great. Perfect. Marissa was saying something, but she's disappeared. Marissa, where are you? Yes, Marissa. You still have to unmute yourself. You still have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you. On a personal level, Vikram, I would like to link SDG 10, which is reduce inequalities, with SDG 16, which is justice and peace. I've always believed that a person, according to Mandy, when your needs are not met, that's when there's strife. Okay, so we know that in the world right now, there's a lot of the inequality. Inequality is getting wider. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, and we say that justice is not equal. Those who are rich, they get more justice than those who are poor. So I believe that one of the things that we can do to improve the peace situation or acquiring justice is to also help people improve economically. That's why when you say who would like to participate in, or who would like to start the different mediation circles in the different SDGs, I would like to volunteer for SDG 10 as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, so there's been a study that when people are able to improve their economic lives, that they now have a better chance of getting involved in community because their needs are being met. So they now are able to provide, to get involved with community. Now, let me then go to SDG 16. As mediators, I would think that that's the best area where mediation can help. Well, the way we do it is, the way we do it in Mediators Network is that we focus on community mediation. To achieve that, we train people. We partner with institutions and train people within the institution to become mediators so that they'll be able to help resolve conflicts where they are. And in that way, we're able to build stronger institutions. So that's what I said earlier, that for peace to grow, you must improve. We must improve. We must provide the environment for peace to grow. So I think, in a nutshell, Vikram, that's what we can contribute when we're able to provide the mechanisms within an institution so that they are able to resolve conflicts themselves.
I think reducing inequalities is of course, it's a very important thing, but a lot of sensitization has to be done at the grassroots level. And I think that's where, of course, conversations, yes, but also I think a concept of building communities will have to happen, which is where I think if you feel a part of a community, you would want to take everyone together.
Yes.
So I think a lot of work,
true.
It's not just dispute resolution, it's actually building communities and sensitization. Maybe look, as we create those circles in schools, I would see, I feel we would see some good things coming out from there, because I feel that if you give children a good direction, they take it up, and I think they can create some good things there. So I think I have some hope, a lot of hope there, but it's going to be one step at a time, and everyone has to be part of that. So any thought? Malu obviously has thoughts. Malu, something? You are going to unmute or not? What's your plan? Unmuting is going to happen on us.
Yes, I was listening what Marisa was saying. This number 10, reduce inequalities. Is it like a small clean court in a big international level? Maybe I don't know, because I work here for the international, for the small court, special court, and I simply love work where I work. I was tailored for what I do. So, and I would love to be in this number 10 issue. I would also ask if would it be a multicultural mediation? Is it a goal for this? SDG for multicultural mediation.
Aren't all mediations multicultural?
Are there?
Aren't they? Everyone has their own culture which they bring into mediation. Everyone has that. So yes,
because
Malu, that's what the World Mediation Circle is. Everyone from everyone is part of it. So the larger,
because this is also necessary. I will try to figure out what I want to say. Well,
just
one thing at a time. I would like to talk about the mediation here in Brazil, first of all.
Okay.
Brazil is one of the highest litigation rates in the world. Okay, so in the small claim court we have a lot of Vikram, we are what the main thing I would like to tell you is that we are now implementing a very important project now, and it's called new project about superendividamento. And the law here in Brazil, well, I'm talking a lot of different things. I'm thinking in Portuguese, trying to translate, and it's I would like to stop my intervention.
No, I think what we're going to do, we
launch today.
What we do is we launch the Brazil Mediation Circle. In that, we'll talk about everything that's happening in Brazil, we'll do that. Not a problem. Because there is, look, the things happening in every part of the world in relation to the
Lots of
law.
things to talk, lots.
Yeah, because
And topic 16, mediation in Brazil, mediation in the world, multicultural mediation. I'm thinking in Portuguese, trying to translation into English, and it's being a mess.
no, but Malu, I tell you what you have to do is, first of all, we have to, from our end, actually start doing work on the ground. We've done a lot of talking, 650 plus videos, 650 plus hours of events and shows. Now it's on the ground.
Today I am confused here.
Okay, let's get Kathleen in. Kathleen has something to say.
Let's
Yes,
be
Kathleen.
with the topic 16,
yes.
the topic 10, and
Each of them.
Another day I tell you about the mediation in Brazil, the small plain port, and what we are doing here. Another day.
We will do that. We'll do that.
Okay.
Let's get Kathleen in. Kathleen wanted to say something. Yes, Kathleen.
Yes, thank you for those comments. I'd like to speak to just a small piece of what you just mentioned with culture. The mediation table has a culture as well. The mediation process has a culture that people have to acquiesce themselves to if they want to come join at the table as well. So I think that's very important to point out that I don't hear a lot. And additionally, people, we have the culture of ourselves. I call it the culture of them. People are bringing their culture to the table as well, no matter their race, no matter the gender, no matter the country. They still have their culture of themselves that needs to be worked out as they come to an agreement, build a bridge to each other at the mediation table. And then as they walk out, close that door to the mediation room and walk that mediated agreement out in the culture of the world that they are operating that agreement into. So as mediators, we have to be very respectful of all of this culture at the table, not just the obvious skin tone, language culture, but the culture of them. And at the mediation table with this ultimate goal of authenticity and peace, people have an opportunity to change, to grow their culture, to add something new, to stop doing something. So I think our cultural conversation, although it's highly globally worthy, I think it's more microscopic than what we've been looking at. So thank you for
we'll have a whole, I don't know whether now I'm going to have symposia and on these topics, but maybe we'll pick up something there. But only thing, Kathleen, is that mediation table and mediation room we are leaving behind. We are bringing people under the tree. That is the concept. Let's create a little more informality around it, because grassroots activity will not happen when we keep telling them mediation room and mediation table. It has to be an informal process which they in some way connect with on a very, personal level, informal level. So that's, I actually, there was one, I think 2 years back, that conference, there was a topic Sarah and I discussed on bringing people under the tree. So that's, if I get time, please watch that.
Because you want to climb the branches of the tree. That's a beautiful analogy. Like, looking down at the table better. I hear what you're saying.
Mediation in our culture and traditions bring people under the tree. That's what it all started with.
Thank you, my friend.
So look, what's going to happen is, of course, each of those topics, mediation circles, will be created. So all that, on mediatorvikram.com, there will be a list which will keep coming up. And please at least put your whatever circle you want to be part of. But World Mediation Circle, there is a form there. So please fill that up. And what I should do is, in general, let me tell you the kind of things which are going to happen, which are happening. Laura should have been here, but she's not here. But there is, in terms of schools, she's doing something there in the US. So this is a school cluster where she's creating this. So in this, you have, this is a school cluster, this is the World Mediation Circle, the USA Mediation Circle. So things like that. Its idea is that just create those circles. Let's get the thoughts going. Let's look at Ecuador. There is the Ecuador thing which is coming up. So what do we have there? Let me put that up. Gabriel and Gabby not here right now, but they should have been here. So that Ecuador Mediation Circle. So wherever we can, let's just put these seeds out there, and hopefully they'll grow as we go along. Mandy is there, Zakynthos Mediation Circle. She has lots of thoughts right now. On the groundwork is what is going to happen. Mandy, yes, Mandy, something going to happen.
Is happening. And what we're trying here is to connect the participation of the citizens in the public issues and to create the mindset of people that are participating in decision making. So to have the mindset of resolving their disputes and conflicts and difficulties.
Okay, so let's say hi to Luis now.
It's
Luis
mostly for with peacemakers mostly.
Okay, so but I mean, practically those issues, whatever will happen, we'll keep taking them up. But of course, Luis is going to tell us about his thoughts, of course, on International Day of Peace. But more importantly, Luis, on the SDG and how you look at mediation in each of those areas.
Hello with everybody. Vikram, I'm sorry for being super late, and I just want to know what you're talking about, and I will jump in. Don't ask me now anything.
What are we talking about?
I've been diving on something else, so I saw your message and say, oh, I need to get in there.
Okay, so the basic idea is we're celebrating International Day of Peace. So a small message on that you can give us. The whole idea of today was to launch the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2030 Mediation Circle. That is the larger circle. And under that, each of those goals, we are going to create circles for that. So your thoughts on how that is going to work. And of course, climate change is one of those areas that you work on. So that global climate change mediation circle, what needs to be done. So yes, lots of things.
Okay. Yeah. Many things to say. Well, I will say a couple of things that among those amazing goals, we have peace building, we have water issues, we have climate issues. But today, as we celebrate this day, and as I put a couple messages around, I want to celebrate Vikram, because Vikram bring all this crowd together, and it's really important because normal, regular people do not know that mediation work or peace building work is kind of lonely, because we are the crazy ones that we think that collaboration works and we can bring people together and do all this amazing stuff. But you brought us together and you gave us a sense of belonging. So it's a community that you have helped to shape and promote, and I met many of you, and I have met some of you guys in person, and yeah, you're a moving force that, I don't know, move us forward in our field and give us the will and the energy and the motivation to keep going and keep doing the work we are doing. And that's it. And thank you for everybody to be there.
And anything on the goals? Of course, thank you very much for all this. I mean, the only thing we were discussing before you came is that I'm going to change my name now. It's going to become Matchmaker Vikram. Mediator Vikram is out of the picture. But here, Malu, just 1 second. What I was just wanted to put out there was what Luis also said, and Tina had also put up in the chat. Just 1 second, because goal number 17, I think sometimes gets lost out. Rafaela, I'll just get you in a minute, but just 1 second. So basically, let's look at goal number 17. So because Tina said there seems to be partnership for the goals. So this is what is something that we are doing. And that is how maybe let's look at the larger world mediation circle from this perspective. So that's something that she put out there. And she also put out some nice quote, which let me put it out. There's a nice quote, which is Margaret Mead's quote. And let's put it there, then we'll get Rafaela in also. So that's what people coming together can do things, definitely. Yes, we have, of course. Rafaela, your thoughts? International Day of Peace.
Sorry I was late, Vikram, because I just finished working. Uh, so I've just joined the meeting. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes,
I think that the circle is very important. I mean, the connections and network.
Let's say hi to Michael also. Hi, Michael. We are going to put you on the spot, like as always. Your thoughts on the International Day of Peace, your message to the world, and how the Sustainable Development Goals, where does mediation fit in? And each of them, you're going to tell us, Michael, in each of them. Yes, Michael, you have to unmute yourself. You'll have to. Yes, please. You'll have to unmute yourself and give us your message first. Michael, you have to unmute. You'll have to unmute.
That's part of my strategy for not answering your questions. If I stay on mute, I can just speak all I want to and nobody will know what I'm saying, right?
No, your message is important, so please.
People can think that I'm much more important and significant than I am if I just look earnest and my mouth moves.
So, your thoughts?
Well, I'm sorry to be late, and yet nevertheless happy to be here. My only thought is about international peace is that it's very easy for us, sadly it is, for us to be caught up in the extraordinary horror, the terror, the violence that exists among peoples, and that result in such damage to human beings, innocent human beings in particular, that we can become frozen when it comes to thinking about what we can do, because those problems are so immense and we can't figure out what am I going to do? Write a letter of protest, stand outside some embassy and with a sign? Yes, all of that we can do. For me, and the way in which I have practiced for the last long time is to focus on what I can do one-on-one with one person, with a small group of people, with a couple, in the workplace and families, and help them do two things. One is obviously to be able to resolve whatever conflict they bring, if there's a possible way to help them address it that's successful on their terms. But in the same way, I think we have the opportunity, if they are interested, to help them learn about themselves in conflict, so they have the opportunity to take away a lesson that can be useful to them in other situations. So it's not as though we set ourselves up as teachers, and we can't assume that everyone is interested in doing more than finding a solution to the particular dilemma. It's their choice. But if we don't imagine that that's a possibility, if we aren't attentive to that as a possibility, we'll never see it as a possibility, and therefore we won't do anything about it. And that's how I have, I hope, that's how I believe I've approached my work. If anybody observed my work, maybe they would disabuse me of that idea, or maybe they would say, right on, you're doing quite well. I don't know, but that's what I believe anyway.
Important. I think that's an important message also. Yes, but I think we need you to do things, well, not in small groups, but in the larger group. A lot of people need to learn from you, which is what I said earlier also. So that reflective practice group that we, of course, whatever groups that come up, people need that, whatever that learning from you, your expertise, and then grow from there. But Rafaela did not give a message. Did you, Rafaela? No message for International Day of Peace?
For the peace, the National Day of Peace. Yeah, it's very hard to talk about peace nowadays. We're very close to Ukraine, and so sad. I was in, I can tell you a story heard from a mediator from Ukraine, from Kiev, who was with us in Frankfurt in September. And I admire her strength, motivation, her smile. And as Michael said, the only thing we can do as individuals is to bring peace wherever, any place we can, in any situation, and try to build a culture of peace, of non-violent conflict from the start, from children to professionals and so forth.
Now that you've said that, now what are you going to do about it is the question. How you're going to look at developing these circles in Italy? Yes, Michael, you'll smile laughing. Now everyone has said those things. Now they have to do something about it, and the opportunity is.
But the thing I'm aware of, Vikram, is that you always put people on the spot.
Always. That's what I do.
In that exact way.
No, because look, the thing is that we've spoken a lot about all these things. Now we have to work on the ground. So, Rafaela, in your local area, whatever school, even just one school, one organization, one community, just a little circle there. And what are we doing? We're just saying that identify those mediators yourself, identify those peacemakers yourself. Just come together and just, it might be a small group, but a community within a community which believes that things can be resolved without resorting to, of course, violence, but also activism, advocacy, and politics. Without that, also people can sit together if people let people sit together. The challenge is, do people want people to sit together? I think that by itself is something which is going to be a challenge, yes, but a small group coming together is not such an issue. So Luis definitely has something to say on this. Luis, now you have to give us a larger elaboration on how the global climate change circle is going to work and what all work it can do at the local level as well as the global level, and merging the two. Yes, Luis, that experience of yours, people need your expertise on that. Don't laugh. No. Yes, it is required.
Why you do this to me?
To everyone.
What do you want to say? Okay, climate change has a lot of problems, affect the use of resources. We have less access to natural resources. We get floods, we get deforestation, and we have all this drama. We have like fires like crazy. So climate crisis is not just climate change, it's a crisis. And so first we need to acknowledge that that thing is happening. For instance, in Peru, supposedly in 2 days we start spring, which means that we are just finishing winter. But first time ever, we have had like a long, super long summer, and we didn't have winter here in Peru. We have like 4 days of slight dumb rain, but that was it. So anyway, climate change is real, and we can go and protest in the streets and raise our voices, but we need to build our capacity to work together to address climate change and how we can mitigate the impacts of climate change, or how we can reach agreements or consensus around plans to prevent that the things get worse, or at least start working to improve the situation. So at least I believe that our role as mediators, or our contribution with this climate crisis, is like we can help people to reframe conversations in a more constructive way, and foster collaboration to find a way to get out of this drama and crisis we're in. That's it, my friend.
No, well, I think what I'm looking at is that at a very local level, like I said, even a school or a community creating that climate change mediation circle. And of course, the larger global climate change mediation circle have to work together. So it's not that it's a global thing, so only looking at the global level. At the local level is where little changes there can have an effect. Maybe we don't know how much of an effect it can have, but you have to put it in place. So I think that's where I was trying to get you in to tell us what your thoughts on actually getting them together, what you would want to do. Look, now it's on the ground work. Louis, like I was just saying, 650 plus hours of programming, people are going to take 2-3 years to watch it if they want to watch it. So there is enough content out there. Now work on the ground is what's going to happen. So like, I mean, work on the ground, yes. And also things like reflective practice, which Michael is going to bring in. Let's do that kind of work now. Okay, interaction, coming together. So that's how it is. Anything else that Malu wanted to say something? Malu, you were saying something. I cut you off there.
Okay, give me a second chance. Now it goes. Well, I would like to say that here is the country that one of the most highest litigation rates in the world. And the proportion of the number of ongoing proceedings in the different spheres of the judiciary, more than 75 million, according to data from the latest Judiciary National Council report called Justice in Numbers, far exceeds average of other countries. There are several explanations for this phenomenon. One of the fact of justice is free on the small claim court, JEC, where I work, Small Claim Court, Juizado Especial. So, Juizado Especial is designed precisely to include and give access to public, to people that can't afford lawyers, and is designed precisely to include and give access to public and to less complex issues. So it is for it would extend the topic 16 for the SDG agenda, ONU agenda.
Goals.
I won't take long, I promise.
No, please,
So,
take it.
okay. But now there is having a distortion for our Juizado Especial. I was saying in Portuguese, okay, Juizado Especial is the small claim court. We became a hotline for banks, for electric companies, and it's incredible the distortions have been occurring, and issues of very natures end up flowing into JEC. The JEC became the hotline for banks, utility companies, cell phones companies, airline, and various types of fraud, which could be avoided if companies invested more in their internal training. And we are not ombudsman. We became ombudsman of companies, burdening the entire structure of the judiciary. So, and now, what I would like to share with you is that ESG is a win-win framework. Some experts believe that compliance with the CDG by all countries would unlock an estimated 12 trillion across 4 economic systems: food and agriculture, cities, energy and materials, and health and well-being as a result of new opportunities and gains. Therefore, the Agenda 2030 creates opportunities for both investors and companies. Furthermore, it provides a framework and common language for corporations to integrate sustainability information into their reports, providing information to both investors and shareholders. There are several actors in the ESG investment chain, such as investors, banks, and companies. They are gradually including sustainable governance in their reporting processes. Therefore, compliance is a fundamental area for thinking about actions that make your company in accordance with the agenda and make sustainability an asset of your business. In addition to insurance, a broader contribution to the preservation of life on Earth. I would like to add just one thing. Our regional court is being a pioneer in implementing a new project. As a result of COVID, there was a lot of bankruptcy for individuals, not only for companies, but for individuals. And there is a new law here, especially for individuals, bankruptcy for individuals, named Lei do Superendividamento. This law is new here in Brazil. It's kind of, as I said, law for bankruptcy for individuals, but we think that banks, again, banks, I don't know in your countries, but here banks are very, very difficult. I will conclude in a second.
Are you
Banks
sure?
are having
Are you sure, Manu, you want to conclude?
Banks are having a lot of trouble understanding that it's not an invitation. We are not inviting them to come to JEC. We are saying, you do it, or you will go into the end of the line for the sentence, né? And so, Vikram and colleagues, you said that what we have to say for this special day, for the peace day, né? It's very hard. The conditions of work is very hard for you to implement peace, the conditions of work. You try to make peace locally. The conditions are very hard. Imagine locally, so even internationally.
It has to happen locally. Yeah, that's the whole.
It's really hard. So it's difficult, but we have keep trying implementing the peace, even in your regional court, even new projects. So one day, as John Lennon said, in the song Imagine, all the world will be as one.
Which we sung on in the World Peacemakers Day. We've sung
That's
that.
it.
But I wanted to get Shifan in.
Okay.
Shifan, you want to put on your video and you want to come in? Because Shifan came in, but then a signal, I think, was an issue. Shifan, are you there? You want to put on your video also, Shifan? Yes, Shifan. Signal is a bit of an issue, it seems. We can't hear you. Can't hear you, Shifan. Can't hear you. Cannot hear you. This can't. नहीं आ रहा, आवाज नहीं आ रही, बिल्कुल भी नहीं आ रही. Shifan, we can't hear her, but she's in a very beautiful part of India, which is Kashmir. Everyone, of course, hears about Kashmir from the conflict part of it, but not the beauty part of it. It's a beautiful place. Yes, Shifan, we can't hear you, but we'll get you in. But Michael, you want to leave in 5 minutes, you say? Any?
I do need
so,
to leave, yes.
So project, basically dates, yes, we need the project, but also, Michael, the Vikram, Mediator Vikram books, we have realized that your books, it has to be translated into every language. So we have to do that under Mediator Vikram books.
I'm ready to work with anyone.
You're working with me, Michael. You're working with me.
Oh, that's fine. If you're the intermediary, it's all fine.
I've always been the intermediary, it seems.
No, we'll
Okay.
figure out
Interesting.
a way
Okay, let me tell you another interesting thing. We are launching a Medianos.
Yes.
This is a game that Massimiliano has created. We are going to take this. So we have, of course, a circle around it, but getting people as facilitators. The idea being that people should experience resolving things. So it's they put it into a game format, which is step by step. And I found that really interesting that people need to experience. But any thoughts, going away thoughts, Michael, anything?
No, I'm just, I'm grateful for even the short period of time to be able to be with my friends.
But you haven't met everyone, Michael. So have you said hi to everyone?
Those people who I have, I'm looking around, and I know I'm not going to name them, but I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people whom I have met on your programs at one time, Isaac, one time or another, and Luis, and so I feel such a beautiful connection with the people who are here, which you inspire and which they rise to. And I only wish that I could stay much, much longer. But
let me tell you, Michael, the important role that you have, of course, we'll say hi to Elizabeth. Elizabeth will get you in a minute. But Michael's role, your role is because reflective practice, he's the reflective practitioner, as he calls himself and we call him. But every group, every circle that's created, you have a role to play everywhere to actually create that reflective practice in each of them. So you have a role in all of them. So reflective practice group, the circle that we're creating, of course, that exists. But in each of them, I think you'll have to come in and create that reflective practice attitude in everyone. So I think we need.
I'm happy. I'm happy to help in any way I can. For me, it is not just a practice. It is my life. It's what I believe in. It's how I work, with family, friends, as well as with clients. So
yeah. Important work. Let's say hi to Rosalia also. Hi, Rosalia.
So I'll say goodbye while you're doing that.
Yeah.
And, lovely to see you all, and I hope to see you very, very soon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Vikram.
In the living room.
Hello, Vikram. Hello, everyone. Happy International Day of Peace.
Yes, you are going to first. Elizabeth is going to give her view, her thoughts on International Day of Peace, because it's in the order that people came. Elizabeth had just come, I think, 30 seconds before you, so she gets that chance. So Elizabeth, your message on International Day of Peace, and anything specifically for any of the goals. Is there anything that you feel where mediation can fit in and has not been thought about that it can fit in? Yeah, please.
Hello, everyone, and thank you again, Vikram, for organizing these events and bringing so much positive energy together, and a wonderful way for everyone to learn from each other and inspire each other and keep working. So thank you for doing this. And I think it's wonderful to keep this dialogue and these talks about peace. Peace, I think, is about a positive state of mind, about positive attitudes that we need to keep growing and expanding around the world. And peace is more about finding the right balance of spiritual, psychological, and relational environments. So we need to work on all of them to be able to find that right balance. And we're just working together on finding or eliminating violence and reducing hostility. So I just love to be here, love to see so many people involved in this task and trying to commit to do our best in the conflict resolution and the mediation field. Thank you so much.
And now work on the ground. That's what's going to happen. Okay. Now a lot of conversations have happened. Now work on the ground. Yes, Rosalia, work on the ground. Blessed are the peacemakers is what Rosalia put in the message. Yes.
Oh, hi. Well, hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. So nice to see you. Happy International Day of Peace. Thank you, Vikram, for organizing this. I can only join now because I was working, trying to make peace. So I do agree with what Lisette just mentioned. I think we should all continue, not give up. We have to open up dialogues and through awareness sessions, training. There's so much work to be done, and it's a lifelong journey. And I'm really happy to be among such a wonderful group. I'm so impressed with everyone that's here, and I'm just happy to be here. So I send you all a big hug. Happy International Day of Peace. It's a great celebration to all of you, and for all of you, I celebrate all of you. So.
But Rosalia, you in whatever way you worked with the United Nations, you have to tell us from the SDG perspective, anything specific that you have looked at in relation to mediation fitting in, and how, of course, those circles are going to be created in each of those goals. But any thoughts on that?
Well, from the SDG, from the Sustainable Development Goals perspective, we have to look at it from a holistic point of view. Mediation does not stand alone. We need to work on partnerships, partnership building. There is sustainable development means we need capacity building. People have to understand. You have to look at it from, when I say holistic, you have to look at before you can maintain, you have to create peace. People need, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I'm sorry, it's not prepared. You have to resolve conflict, but in order to resolve conflict, you also have to maintain it. And how do you maintain it? How do you sustain peace? Is by respecting human rights. It's not just dissolving the conflict itself. You have to respect human rights. You have to look at also education. It's everything that the United Nations does, basically, at every level, from peacekeeping, peace building, peacemaking. It all works together, and it works in unison. It's not, and you cannot work in silos. It has to be looked at harmoniously in a holistic perspective, and you have to get different actors involved, from youth to non-governmental organizations, civil society, governments. You have to have partnership building with non-governmental organizations, civil society, and governments and leaders. So everybody has to be at the table. It has to be inclusive. That's the way you are going to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. That's why there's 16 of them. If you look at them individually, they're all listed. The one that deals with, I believe it's goal 16, deals with conflict resolution, but you have to look at them all together. It's not just individual, okay? You have to work with all the goals. Exactly, climate change, goal 13.
What about the 17th one? 17th one, what about this one?
Peace and justice,
no, 17 is also
respect for human rights, and the rule of law also. Everything has to work holistically together. Life and land. I mean, if you look at them, there's a logic to them. They're not just there randomly. They're very well thought out. So whichever goal you're working on, let's say you're focusing on one goal, okay, you're contributing to all the other goals that are there, because every goal is a stepping stone. It just adds the objective and to the outcome for the next goal. I mean, we can have a whole discussion, you know, Vikram, we could have a whole discussion on this. If you set something up on the sustainable development goals on each one, we can have
each of them, what you're going
different
to do is,
discussion.
the idea is that each of them, we create a circle on each of them. And in those discussions, of course, they're all connected. So you have that whole worldwide web of mediation circles. They're all connected here and there. But yes, but people are interested in a particular area. Let's bring them together. And like you said, it has to be everyone. You have to bring in everyone into that conversation, which is what that mediation circle is all about. It's bringing everyone together, and from the local to the global, at all levels, everyone has to be brought in. So
That's right.
It has to be
and leveraging on everyone's expertise.
Yeah.
Everyone has something to contribute.
Absolutely. But the only thing is that work has to happen on the ground, is what I've been repeating it a little too much today.
That's right.
That's what the focus is. Let's just get things going on the ground. A lot of conversations.
From the ground up.
Ground
and
up,
involving
up, down, up, all has to happen together.
And sideways, exactly. And it involves youth. Youth are extremely fundamental. Also, youth are very important because they have the energy. They also have the know-how, especially with respect to technology. They can contribute a lot. Then, of course, women and basically at the local level, and religious leaders, you name it. I mean, everyone should be inclusive. Okay, that's my take. I don't want to take up anyone else's time. Thank you very much.
Only thing is that Desiree wants to, of course, tell us about the refugee camp that he is part of and the work that he is doing there. Yes, Desiree, please tell us, because the Refugee Mediation Circle definitely is going to come up, but you want to give us a little introduction on to the work that you're doing, please.
Yes, thank you again. The goal of peace and justice is very important as one of sustainable goal development. As I lead a group of to promote justice using mediation in a Mahama refugee camp, we need support, but first of all, we needed to collaborate, to work together, because, for example, I'm refugee, but there are many refugees. There are many problems in the world. So as I work in a refugee community, we need your support and to work together so that we can help others to build a peaceful world, a peaceful planet. I thank you very much. Yes.
But the thing is that there is looking for funding, and I keep telling him, I don't get any funding. Where am I going to help you get any funding? But Desiree will definitely, that World Refugee Mediation Circle will put that through. Hopefully someone somewhere will sit there and say, yes, we want to work with. It'll be a model kind of a refugee camp. Let's do that. Let's see who comes in, but work should still happen. And of course, Erin is here, and Erin is going to give her thoughts on International Day of Peace. And Erin, on the Sustainable Development Goals. Yes, your thoughts, please.
Thank you for having me, Vikram. I appreciate it. My thoughts are that I am so excited to be able to help people across the world as a mediator. I'm thrilled to have this outlet where all of us can come together and discuss the forward movement of mediation internationally, and have a space to be in a safe environment to express our needs and thoughts. And I'm just really excited to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Anything on the Sustainable Development Goals, Erin? Anything there?
No, because I was not really able to look over them or be a part of it.
I can do a quick one here. You can give your thoughts.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Each of them, because I'm telling you, the thing is that sometimes some thought comes in from, you come up. So these are the goals. Okay. No poverty. Yes. Zero hunger. What are we doing on gender equality? What any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that as a community, of humans, we have a lot of work to do, and moving forward with these goals, this looks exactly like a vision that I have for my future. And I believe that it starts in each of our communities. working our communities outwards. And this is amazing. I really like this.
It is. Okay, I mean, all these things have to be, each of those areas are important. But Luis, what we
They're
have to do
very
is that environmental mediation circle also has to be launched. So please, a lot of mediation circles are going to be launched in October. So Erin, what are you thinking? Any mediation circle that you are wanting to launch? Anything that you have a thought on?
You know, I've been talking a lot about support groups recently and secondary trauma from listening to and helping other people get through their problems. And I would really like to see a mediation group where we just come together and talk about how what we do affects us and what we can do to combat those things and support ourselves and each other through the potential traumas that we face just in what we do every day, helping people.
Erin, which means you don't keep a tab at all on what the work I'm doing. We launched what we call the International Reflective Practice Circle. Michael Lang, obviously, is the reflective practitioner. He was there some time back. The whole idea is this: let's create those circles where mediators get together and they discuss their own experiences, listen to other people.
I would like that. That's awesome.
So that we did launch. You were not part of the launch, but now we
No.
can create that circle. We'll get you in, and that's a conversation we have to keep having. But Mandy definitely has something to say. Oh, Tina says something. Yes, Tina, please. You have put some such nice things that you in the chat that you can tell us about.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to do that. So I've been reviewing the UN SDG goals, and I was wondering about, in terms of grassroots efforts, which I think is very important, that you have identified today, Vikram, and all the contributions we've had in this gathering of peacemakers. I wanted to ask, one of the things, as I'm looking through this list of very important goals that have been identified, I wanted to find out, where does nonviolent communication fit into these goals? As I'm looking through the 17 goals. And the reason why I ask that is that I know that we need more love in this world, but from my own experience, I didn't grow up in a home that had any peace. There was violent communication. That's how things were communicated, through violence. And although I was impacted by pretty much some of these very important goals that are listed, I don't see, as much as we try to encourage love and kindness, which is so important to humanity, what I often see missing is how we communicate to one another. And of course, nonviolent communication is something that I've been very interested in learning more about. I wonder what everyone's thoughts are. We know that was developed by Marshall B. Rosenberg, and we know the nonviolence messaging, important messaging of Gandhi. But I wondered what everyone thought about in terms of the way we communicate with threats of violence, with actual violence, where that fits into the UN's SDG goals, or if it is not present, could we have another goal, 18, of nonviolent communication? So I wanted to get your thoughts.
We'll get everyone's thought, but the question also, how does non-violent communication help in fulfilling the goals? That could be one part of it. The other, of course, can it be a goal by itself? So Luis has something to give us on that. Yes, Luis, anything? You put a comment in the chat. That's why I've got you.
Well, Kathleen raised her hand, so I would love to listen to her,
Yeah,
but I will just say 16, just 16, and Kathleen is next.
Go,
You know,
Kathleen. Tell us.
Tina, thank you for bringing that up and sharing a little bit as well. That's why I personally think that teaching mediation skills within the school system, as Rosalia, my friend, mentioned, is very important, because then these students go home with skill sets where they can use these communications, nonviolent type of communications within their families. And also, in addition, skilling up, middle school students, elementary students, middle school students, high school students with restorative practices and mediation skills, that allows them to go chase down their identity. They can do the hot knife through butter of the conflict in their family, and then chase down their identity. What are they birthed for? What are their purposes? So, in the United States, that we've done that, and we're moving forward peer mediation, high school mediation tournaments we're doing in Arizona right now. So I think that's how we infuse these overall worldly peacemaking goals into our individual kids that are in boxes we call schools. They're right there. Let's use that opportunity to educate them as they can learn to operate within the culture of their parents' lives that they really can't change. They can learn to operate within it, hopefully, but it can't be changed. And then they can evolve as individuals. So that would be my 3 cents, Vikram, not 2 cents. 3 cents.
Okay. The thing is that definitely Kathleen has these good thoughts. Only the way our difference is on the way she wants to take it forward, and what I keep saying about the school mediation circles and what I have against the peer mediation as it goes is that everyone says we will go there and teach. And I'm saying they know. It's just bringing it out and letting them be themselves rather than us who are today talking about all those things that are happening in the world and not so good. Those people, the generations who are part of that, saying, we will teach you. I think that's like, I find that a little, I'm not going to use any words like absurd or not. I'm not going to say that. It's just a thought which I feel it's not the, no, Kathleen, nothing. No, you're right, or you're on the right path. What you're doing is.
Well, let me just add my 3 more cents. The adult pressure chamber that kids have to exist in is real, and it's way more pressure than what they can bring to the table because their prefrontal cortex isn't evolved yet. So they really are a victim within that family of culture oftentimes. So if we can teach them to use those natural skills that I know you and I love to discuss. I think Rosalia had to mediate us one day in a meeting that we had because we were going at it, natural skills versus trained skills, right, Rosalia? So I think it all has to come together for this beautiful casserole dish of what we offer.
But let's put it out there, Kathleen. It's not. I'm not seeing you after so long because of those differences. It's because that you're doing lots of work and you're busy.
No.
But I think the thing is that in terms of the school mediation circles, my thought is that let them identify their own mediators and peacemakers and themselves experience mediation and resolution. And that is what they will take forward because it's an experience. Right now, what is happening is a lot of theory is being thrown on them from all sides. We are going to teach, we're going to tell you this, we're going to tell you that. It doesn't feel like an experience from them. It has to come from within. And when you create those circles where they experience it, I think that learning process with experience will be a lot better than this theory which is being put out there. So that's not much of a difference. I'm just saying that's them experience. But Erin is, Lois, now you're coming in later. Erin is going to come in first. Yes, Erin.
Yeah, so I love that. I just want to say that's great. And I think that bringing open discussions with curiosity to those who are in emergency personnel situations, like the police department and firemen and those who are helping, is really important that it's brought to their attention that they have these conflict resolution skills within them that they could be utilizing instead of other skills that are not necessarily behavior or the best behavior. And also with what I do, I'm targeting, adult schools, juvenile halls, youth groups, places where, we can have open discussions about the things that are helpful to us and the things that are hindrance to us. And sometimes we learn negative skills growing up that are there to maybe protect us in a certain moment or help us get through a certain moment, but there are better ways, and we inherently know this. And it's just like when people hear it or see it or feel it or go through it and their eyes open, it's so beautiful, because at that point they want to help other people learn how to open their eyes to the situation.
Yeah. Yes, Luis, you're saying goal number 4 is what you're saying, right?
Well, no, kinda, because I want to build on what Kathleen was saying, because what she was explaining is, okay, teaching, quotes, teaching mediation or soft skills or human skills or kindness or empathy in the schools. So as frame it as that fits into goal number 4 of education, quality education. But Vikram, what you were saying is, well, we need to experience and not teach. Well, the thing is that it depends how we teach. It's a hierarchical thing that everybody's in a line like a classroom, and we are saying X, Y, and Z, or we are teaching in a more experiential learning process, and we engage and we experience and all the stuff. I think that I'm inclined to think about that in what Kathleen was saying, because I experienced that it's good way of talking and non-violent communication, and then I can go home and reframe the conversation of my parents that want to harm each other. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
No, what I've done is that in terms of what Kathleen is saying, the thing is that I've tried to categorize people in relation to the circles is the mediators, peacemakers, and the participants. So for the participants, maybe they need to be given certain, I'm not saying teach, but at least maybe a little theory, maybe. So maybe, I mean, I'll have to look at what that is going to be, because I feel when they experience a resolution happening within that circle by itself is a learning experience. And I think what you pick up from there is much more than what you can throw at them in any other way. So I just still feel that, but maybe we can look at that. I mean, if there is something that needs to be put out for them. But Rosalia was there, she put her hand up, but she's gone. But Rafaela, yes, Rafaela, you put your hand up and then you're gone. Yes, Rafaela.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that I'm much more into the topic of our meeting, I'm going through the 17 objectives of the SDG agenda towards peace. And as I wrote you in the chat, if you think about it, the ultimate goal is dignity, is human dignity, which includes all the rest, includes quality education, gender equality, because the human beings need to be respected. And so I think dignity should be the goal in each of the 17 goals. So as mediators, what we do when we mediate amongst people, what we do, we try to empower people, and we give each people sitting around the mediation table dignity. That's, to me, I mean, going through reading the goals, you cannot deny that dignity is the ultimate goal. Yep. Sanitation, no poverty, zero hunger. The goal is to give human beings dignity.
No, I think the discussion that we need to have is that of course, I've put it out there as a mediation circle, but I think the role of mediators in general to bring dignity into people's lives, what all does that involve, and what can mediators do in relation to that? And of course, the whole concept of that heart, soul, spirituality, which are 3 words I haven't used today. Now I have to push them there. But that aspect of it, bringing that, what the mediators bring in from that element. And of course, we've had our conversation on this in that heart, soul, spirituality and mediation symposium. And Luis took out a nice clip that he put out also on that. So I think we need to look at that and how those elements have to be brought in by mediators themselves as people. So a lot of work, I think, in terms of role of mediators and not just mediation, bringing communities together. And of course, I mean, there will be lots which we'll discuss, but we'll get Rosalia in first. Yes, Rosalia.
Thank you, Vikram. Well, first of all your points are excellent. Basically, I agree with capacity building, awareness, okay? But it's also leading by example and experiential learning. Basically, adults as well as youth, they learn by practicing. And I have a story that I can actually share, which happened this past week. My mom has been in the hospital for 2 weeks. She was just released. She's elderly. And I witnessed some violent communication from disgruntled. I was there. I was actually there. I was my mom sitting in she was walking in the hallway of the hospital, and there was a security guard who was sitting there, and one of the elderly people that was out there was so frustrated because he wanted to go home, and he didn't feel that his place was in that hospital unit. And I mean, he had a valid point, but the security guard was there for his protection. So this person, the violent and language that he used, the racial slurs against this kind security guard, they were really, it was awful to witness. And you can imagine the impact that it had on the other people that were around, especially the elderly people. They're vulnerable. They're in so I happened to be there, and I turned around and I said, I was like, that's not very nice. Like, he's here to help you. There was an escalation of conflict, basically, in the discussion, because there was a person working there who actually escalated the conflict. So I found myself de-escalating the conflict. I'm in the middle of taking care of my mom and trying to de-escalate a conflict between a patient, and the security guard handled it very well, but the volunteer that was there was actually escalating. So I had to speak to both of them, and it was like, it's not very nice. Anyhow, they ended up apologizing to each other. But it's the point of my story is we lead by example. We show, it's not just by teaching, but we lead by example, by explaining. And this patient, that elderly man that was very frustrated, he actually befriended me. Every day that I was in the hospital seeing my mom for 2 weeks, I'd go and I'd sit with him outside in the hallway, and he would say, "Oh, my friend is here. My friend is here." He just needed some attention. He needed somebody to listen to be heard. And it's just by leading by example. And in fact, the slur that he actually apologized. He ended up apologizing to that security guard, and they actually it turned the relationship around. So it's just us acting by not just raising awareness, but leading by example, basically, and showing empathy and compassion and understanding. And so when I was saying that all the sustainable development goals, we should be working at them. We should look at them holistically. Human rights, climate, everything. There's a logic to them. That's why they're there. There's the 17 goals. Mediation is recognized in goal 16, but every action that we take at every level actually leads to peace. Every action that, even listening, and that's just my point. So Vikram, what you were saying is, yes, it's correct. You don't want formal education, but something we need both. We need formal, we need awareness, and we need example. I think we have to work at it at every level. That's my point.
This is what I've been talking about, that you create a community within a community. So that circle is a community within the community, and those people, because within themselves are resolving things amicably in a collaborative manner and having whatever non-violent communication, whatever things all the good things are happening there. Everyone else who looks at that happening says, yes, it is possible to get together and be like this. And that's what leading by example of the individual, what you did, and then creating that little circle around you, where you would, of course, bring in like-minded people there, people experiencing that a little more than what just an individual is, a little more. And that's how the experience will grow. And people would actually look at it as an option rather than, of course, again, my three words, activism, advocacy, and politics. There is an option on the other side, which, of course. But Tina, Mandy, I'll just get you in. I was trying to get Shifan in because Shifan is there, but for some reason she's not being able to connect. Shifan, you want to try again? If you want to, let's see if we can hear you. But yes, Tina, up till she comes in. Tina, please.
So I appreciate everyone's feedback. So, I've been communicating with Dr. Veda, as you all know, Vikram, Dr. Veda Abhayaskundu. I'm probably not pronouncing his name correctly, but I call him Dr. Veda for short. I think theory is so important in our schools. Mediation is important, but one thing that I don't feel we do enough of is what we're doing now, engaging in dialogue, where all voices matter. And sometimes you don't necessarily need someone to teach you. Like as a kid, I understood right from wrong, and I understood something was very wrong in my household without anyone telling me that. I think building skills in conflict resolution education is critical, but I think active listening, engagement, opportunity to speak and have a voice, because you most certainly will not have one in a household that's dominated by violence. So having that outlet for a kid, for a child, would be so important. Yes, you need skills to deal with conflict, but it's quite different when you're having conflict in a home, because you don't have any power, that the adults have the power. So maybe something can be said about having the opportunity to engage and have a conversation that not necessarily has to be something taught, but maybe there's something learned in listening.
But what I want to do is at this time, Tina.
That's what my
I want to bring in Rosalia. Rosalia, why don't you give us the example of your nephew? You were saying that that born peacemaker, mediator. Please tell us about that. Kathleen will be happy to hear about that. Your nephew also. Please.
Oh, my nephew.
Yes.
Well, my nephew he's now 13 going on 14, but even as a child, when he was 5, 6 years old, he's very special. It's not just because he's my nephew, he's a special child. I'm such a wonderful now he's a teenager, but such a wonderful young boy and a wonderful teenager. He has this knack, he has a gift. I've witnessed it on several occasions. If there was, let's say, a disagreement between his parents or his older sister, between my brother and my niece, if we're Italian origin, so the voices get raised, and that's a stereotype. I'm sorry about that for the rest of the Italians here, scusa. But anyhow, the voices can raise very high quickly, and I actually witnessed how he can actually de-escalate, and just basically I saw it with my own eyes. I was a witness, and I was so impressed by his tenderness, his understanding, his kindness. It's like just by hugging everyone and just telling them, please, let's just sit down and let's just discuss this. He was like 5, 6 years old, and he was saying this. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eye. I was flabbergasted, and nobody taught him this. He just had this innate, and he's very popular. He was always popular as a child. Even he plays soccer, and he was always the friend. He used to de-escalate even on the soccer field. My brother told me this also. He was just he's just gifted. He's a natural peacemaker. I can't explain it. I don't know how else to explain it, but I've seen him in action, and I told him, I said, you have a gift. Perhaps that's his path. I'm not sure, but we'll see as he evolves and he grows up. But he's already applying it in his day-to-day, whether it be at home or on the playground, basically. And no one taught him this.
This is exactly what I'm saying. That these are the people we bring out. Stage one, we'll have various stages. Stage one, let's bring out these people who are already there. They're doing it, and of course, doing it well, I'm sure. So let's bring all these people out. Stage two, people will experience them. They will say, oh, yes, I also have that. They'll come in. And then people who can actually look at this as an option, they will look at it. So it's going to be around people like that who have that natural thing. But Mandy, you've got your hand up there, but you are not there. Now you're there. Yes, you were saying something. Yes, Mandy, you'll have to unmute, Mandy.
That's one of the things I wanted to say, that people, I will use 4 words I think that they are keys. It's the needs people have, the rights to have these needs, the voice they need to express these needs, and the need to have the rights, and the power to feel they have the power. But also needs cause sentiments, as I said, and sentiments, when they are negative, they cause conflict. So if the basic needs are not satisfied, then people become really angry because it's a matter of survival. So all these goals, I believe that it's very, very good idea. I'm very I find very good idea to have circles in all these needs, because all these goals are for each of the basic, not just needs, but the basic needs to survive, for people to survive. And if there can't be peace if people don't have the basics to survive. So it's very important to connect the needs with the mentality and the culture of peace and respect, which is the 16th goal, and justice. And also, I think that there is a difficulty in the word power, because people don't have the power. Power is against people, though they gain the power to express and to be there for people. So people make communities or NGOs or anything they can do to protest against the power who was supposed to be there for people. So the main enemy sometimes is the governments and the power. So people have to protest or fight for their rights, which are not respected. And I find brilliant that we have to be in all these goals, and to make a connection of all these through mediation, to connect all these needs for people to have, everybody, the basic. That's the main thing, to have balance and peace. Yes.
Good thoughts. Good thoughts. Yes, Mandy. Yep. But Kathleen, I'll just get you in a minute.
But may I ask a question? I haven't realized, and I don't know if somebody knows, what is the reason we are going in this UN goals? Because I haven't realized which is the support we have, or the what is the reason to become part of this? Which will be the benefits?
Okay, look, the way I'm looking at it, for me, I'm saying that these goals have been put out there. We have to work on the ground to create fulfill them from our own perspective, not from the United Nations perspective. They have of course, lots, I'm sure they're doing good things, but as mediators at the local level, global level, how we can start putting it together. Look, I live in a bubble, which I keep saying, in my bubble, I'm doing this. The larger things which are happening in the world and how United Nations is looking at it, definitely, I'm sure they're doing good things. But for me, it's that little circle where Kathleen, I'll just get you in a minute. Shifan has put some message there. She's saying I might not be able to come in, but just read my message. So she says, as a mediator, basically the job is to inculcate a sense of justice to parties at conflict. A sense of justice brings a sense of dignity, and that's how a mediator acts as a peacemaker. We need more peacemakers today, more than ever, especially when we consider the goal of gender equality. Cultures universally are ridden with a patriarchal mindset. Violence against women is actually condoned, creating impunity for crimes against women. It's such systems, even successful women are vulnerable, making a community work on gender equality and making women experience the strong spiritual side of themselves. I'm sure you all agree with this. So yes. Thank you, Shifan. Yes, Kathleen. Please.
Oh, there's so much to say now, but I think that starting off with the beautiful story of Rosalia's nephew and Tina's comments as well, that's the other part of mediation. We bring our soul, our spirit as a person, like her nephew is. That's just who he is. That's his psyche. So the psyche of us, the other side of mediation is developing trust and rapport. And people have mirroring genes. This is biology. They either resonate with us or they don't, or they do and they don't. And it's not something really within our control. It starts out with how we talk to people, our paraverbals, our tone, our pitch, our pace of discussion. It starts out with how we interact. You know, what does our handshake look like? What does our smile look like? And the psyche of us that comes to the table strongly, even as a 5-year-old. But frankly, if people are just in their basic needs of survival, you know, how can I go home and be safe? And my safety skill needs to be go hide in the closet and be as quiet as a mouse. You know, we just have to meet people where they are, whether we're teaching all this in school or not. As a high school teacher for 25 years, I saw a lot of bad to the bone stuff, and they just needed one person to feel the psyche warmth, the nephew warmth that Rosalia is describing. Just one person to be that oasis in the storm of their culture. So as mediators, we're running a process, and we're bringing as much of that to the table as we feel comfortable with or we're able to do.
Kathleen,
and
under the
that's why
tree.
we all want
Can't
to
we go under the tree, not the table? Under the tree, please.
Oh, sorry, that tree. I thought the table was made out of the tree. I'm so sorry, and my friend. So, you know, it's all of this because we do bring our person to the mediation table as the mediator.
Tree. Bring under the tree. So Rosalia wanted to say bye. Yeah, Rosalia wanted to say
I
bye.
didn't mean to do that on purpose, actually. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's a full 360 experience being a mediator, and we are who we are, and people will love us, and people will like us, and people will maybe not like us, but we are who we are, and we want to try to make sure that we grow in our people skills as much as possible, because we're running a process. We're running a pragmatic process through people's lives of their conflict. So we're moving into the unknown with this pragmatic process, and the only person we got to help us conduct it is ourselves. So the better we know ourselves with our EQ, our IQ, our RQ, our SQ, the better we can help other people. That's what I would say. I see lots of hands, so I'm going to go quiet.
Yeah, exactly. After they finish, you'll give us the full form of all the cues that you just told us. But before Mohammed, just before that, Rosalia wanted to say bye. Rosalia, want to go now, or you?
Yes, I have to go. Unfortunately, I actually have to go give an awareness session on building civility. So it starts in a few minutes. I just wanted to say to everyone, thank you so much for all your wonderful and input, everyone. It's wonderful to hear from all of you. I look forward to more of these sessions. And again, happy International Peace Day to all of you. Keep up the good work that you're doing. And I look forward to meeting up with you all
next
again.
session, one of the next sessions you're going to be part of is the launch of the Canada Mediation Circle. That has to happen. We'll fix a date for that. Yes, it's only launching of circles, and that's it. That's what the next month is all about. So we'll fix a date for that.
Okay, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
Rosalie, thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone. It's nice to see you all.
Yes, Mohammed, you were saying something.
Yeah, because thank you very much. I have to leave, and then thank you all of you. I think we're our contribution, in the field of the SDGs as mediators that are it's nothing compared to the holistic things that are prepared by the international community. So, but our first contribution is to raise awareness in our community and to help and to help to introduce and to work for the peaceful way to live together. This is what I can do. The rest is it's because we have to go back, to the constructions of these SDGs. They are 17, not 16. Many of colleagues are forgetting the last one, and the last one is the more important, which have been added, recently when they put the 16, and then the debate on these 16 come up to add 17 one. So it is a block, and it's like a blockchain, and everything is connected. If you don't succeed in education, you will never succeed in the seventh and the 10th. And then we have to be aware of that kind of thing. So we have to be very more humble. We have to raise that awareness about them, and we have to continue to work as with the ways and means we have in our missions as mediator. And then let's see what is going on in the future. Thank you very much for this. I have to leave you.
Well, thank you. And I think that's where I think 17 is where mediation and we fit in, actually.
Exactly. Yeah. We have to take it into account, and then maybe I can go in that group if there is a group for that.
Yeah. This is that World Mediation Circle is this group, partnership for the goals. That's what it is.
Or the fourth group also, the fourth goal, education.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah. So the school mediation circles, yes, and the college mediation circles. Perfect. Great. Thank you very much, Mohammed, for coming in.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. So we had Erin saying something. Yes, Erin.
Thank you. I really like the idea of teaching awareness about resilience, education about resilience. And I look at it as our children are being raised by our adults, and both sides need education, especially in the world that we live in this moment. And so I feel that it's very important that we build systems that allow adults to grow and have that resiliency as well as children. And then I thought you might like this, Vikram. After our last talk about AI and mediation, I had opportunities to work in schools from elementary schools all the way through the high schools. And I had discussions with children about, would you use an app to help you learn about your conflict, or AI to help you learn about how to help yourself go through that conflict if you didn't know where else to turn, if you felt like you didn't have someone to talk to? Would you open an app and help yourself? And in the high school, it was an overwhelming amount of children who said yes, they would help themselves with an app any time of the day to help them get through that conflict. And that was just very mind-blowing for me. And then in the elementary schools, after consideration, they were mostly not interested. But the older groups, like 6th through 8th grade, were very interested, because more and more they want to learn how to help themselves. And my final thought is that I believe we have to create a world of inclusion as well. I'm reading through these goals, and the inclusive, resilient world that we would like to build is like the North Star. It's the dream. It's like everybody's included. All of our differences are okay. Nobody's offended that we're different. Nobody's scared of our differences. I believe that's the future. And the only way we can get there is by teaching and educating and showing who we are as inclusive people, and being that resilient person that is there for whoever needs it. And that includes organizations, that includes children, that includes adults, that includes your community, that includes your family, and that includes yourself. It's really, really important that we learn how to be there for ourselves before we can be there for anyone else.
No, I think we just discussed this AI part of it because Isaac and Kathleen want to leave. They just want to say bye, and then I'll just. Okay. So thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Kathleen, for coming in.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Keep
Much
doing all
love.
the good work that you people are doing.
I'm going
Thank
also
you,
to leave you.
Vikram, and thank
Bye,
you,
Ana-
everyone. It's
bye,
always
Anastasia.
exciting.
Thank you for coming. Bye.
Thank you
And
very
the
much.
best
Thank
on
you.
video.
Bye.
Grazie Vikram.
Bye,
Thank you.
Rafaela.
Thank you.
Everyone was waiting to
Shukran.
say bye. We were just going to
Okay,
discuss
bye-bye,
AI.
everyone.
Erin, we'll discuss our AI. Everyone
All
can
right,
leave, but
I
we
like
will
it.
discuss our AI part of it because it's an important discussion. Because this aspect of that mediator GPT that I've been talking about, it's something that everyone has access to. All this concept of we'll teach you this, we'll make you this, we'll do all that. Instead, they have that option in front of them. Use it. Mohammed was there in the session. I think Tina also experienced that aspect of it, that it is all available. Just open Chat GPT and start the process. You can start a mediation right there. And how many people in this world have access to people whom they can go to? So here they have access to at least someone who has wisdom. I mean, let's look at as Chat GPT as having wisdom from everything that they can pick up from around the world, all the information that's picked up. And if it's something that can be used by people, they should access it. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, rather than them not even discussing it, at least they've got some release, maybe a good direction. Let's attempt it. Let's tell people to attempt it. Let's see what kind of feedback they give. Did it go in the right direction? Because people are in any case going to be out there doing so many things, maybe picking up information which might not be something that works for them, but because they didn't have access to anything else but that. So they should try everything, but this I think is a good option. I think, I mean, people are fighting the whole concept of AI and Chat GPT and all that, but why not attempt it as Mediator GPT rather than a limited concept of mediation, which is being thrown out to people in those 40-hour factories? Such a limited aspect. Here is some person, or let's call it a person for a moment. I'm calling it a person. Here is a person who has so much more information lying there. Let's access it. Where's the harm? I mean, I'm just saying we won't do it today. We'll do another session of actually doing it. We'll just do trials. Will everyone come with their dispute? Let's put it out there. Let's see what Chat GPT does for us. I mean, I think it's an opportunity for the world. Everyone has access to a lot of people have access to a phone. Just open it and try it out. Where's the harm?
Well, and our teenagers are doing it every day. That phone is in their hands all the time. It is something they access Google all the time. They're asking questions all the time. At least this would be a frontline, like first
responder.
thing that they could use. Yeah, a first responder. That's a good way to put
first
it.
responder is in their hand. Imagine. But Anastasia wants to say bye. Thank you, Anastasia, for coming in.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you all. Happy International Peace Day. Mandy will talk. Maybe
Yes.
back home.
Only Mandy
Yes,
will
for
talk.
sure.
Only the people in Greece will talk to each other. What about people in the US and Italy and Brazil and Morocco? Nothing for them.
For the Greek Mediation Circle,
For
we
this,
will
for the
talk.
survey, for our action, for our
Okay.
actions.
Greece
Bye-bye.
Mediation
Bye-bye.
Circle, Anastasia. That's what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. And of course, the Italy one, because Erin, there is that, I don't know if you were there, Christian, he's organized a conference, and one of the topics is artificial intelligence. And after this, I will put a little session there on that aspect, because this is what I want to put out to people. Of course, he himself does trainings and he makes mediators. So maybe it won't be taken too well by an organization which is organizing such a thing. But I have to put it out. I don't have too much of an option there, because I just feel that I mean, people, when they have something available to them, at least tell them to access it rather than tell them that we've made a mediator. Thank you, Malu, for coming. And thank you for telling us about Brazil and what the situation in Brazil is. We'll definitely have a full discussion on this. Okay. So any final, whatever, who's going to round up the whole thing? What really happened today? Anyone going to do that? Elizabeth, our almost doctor, Elizabeth, anything you want to summarize the discussion today?
Yes, almost there to getting my PhD. Well, I'm just happy to hear from everyone. I just love this opportunity to get so many perspectives from around the world, and we're all doing the same job, but I love it to get it from everyone and find different ways to deal with conflicts and different situations. So thank you for offering
Okay.
this. I love it.
I thought you want to summarize the entire. Someone will, either Erin or Tina or Mandy will. But Mohammed has his hand. Mohammed, you wanted to say something? Are you? Because your hand is up. Anything you want to say? Okay, it's just that. No. So who's going to summarize, Mandy or Erin or Tina? Who's going to do that? Each one of you are going to do it. Okay. So Mandy, what is your summary of what is discussed, and how, of course, that personal circle that has to be created within yourself, and then how that expands, and then you bring other people into the circle. That's one thing that I heard from you and someone else also. So your summary.
What I keep is a kind of summarizing what I heard. So I feel that there is a to all of us.
Just one second. There is Edmundo here. Edmundo, I mean, well, the thing is, I don't see the non-video participants, but I see him there. Edmundo, you want to say something? You want to put on your video? Anything? Okay. No. All right. Yeah, Mandy.
I heard and keep that there is a very to all of us, there is the sense that peace is what we serve most of all. And I realize that the peacemaking is the way to bring balance in the needs and the human rights. And I believe that we all feel that mediators have the tools, maybe, and the mindset to spread these ideas through education and to help this mindset, to spread this mindset. So I believe that this common, though we all had the different aspects for the reasons that bring peace on or harm peace, it is sure that we all realize that all these aspects are connected and it's all one, and that I feel that what came from today's meeting and comes out every time is that we all have this trust in the World Mediation Circle you have created. That's why I like and I love to tell that you are our Pacific Ocean, and you in it's for the day also. You are bringing us all together and give us the chance to connect and to feel these feelings that sea gives us, to feel light and inspired, and to look far away, that it is possible to happen, good things to happen. And I feel very inspired and very encouraged and very connected with all of you and all the friends that we meet all the time. We are family. That is also something very important in your ocean, dear Vikram, because this feeling, this trustful and loving feeling that you give to us and we all share is what we want to spread and to take inside, help ourselves have these beautiful feelings, and then be able to bring them out. And I believe it's the light is something that everybody wants. So just being there in a very in this mindset, and I believe that people will choose that. It is not that we help people or we convince them. It is not that. I think it's to inspire and to make them feel the beauty of this kind of living. So every time I am very grateful and very touched and very inspired, and I leave our meetings full of love and courage. Thank you so much, Vikram.
Thank you very much, Mandy. That's really nice. Thank you very much. And this is what I have been saying, that if good people come together and other people do listen to that conversation, those conversations, that positive energy will transfer. That's the whole idea of the circle. Let's transfer that. Instead of saying we'll change the entire world. No, we won't change the entire world. We'll change the things around us, and that gets transferred. It's damn good. Doesn't get transferred, at least we enjoyed ourselves. We were in positive energy. that time was a good time.
But everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants.
Everybody wants to be happy. I was just listening to the song. Everybody wants to rule the world. So, Erin, any summarizing that you want to do for us? And
Yeah, so I'm really thrilled to be looking over these goals, and I'm really excited for our future. If we could really move forward with this as humans, that would be amazing. Our world would be changing, and I think peace comes from within, and it radiates outwards, and it starts in our own little personal lives, and then moves into our communities, and then into our world. And I believe that although educating people is wonderful, leading by example is the way to go, and opening people's eyes to potential realities that they didn't even think were possible is just heartwarming for me. I really, really enjoy helping people see their potential and see a future that they may not have seen before. And I really feel that the way for us to get to our sustainable goals is to focus on a future that is, that will work for everyone. And I'm really thrilled to be a part of this group, and I appreciate being invited. And I believe that there's no group other than like this one out there. There's no place where so many like-minded individuals around the world are coming together and are expressing the need to change it, and are putting our feet down on the ground every day and standing up every day with the intention of helping it to be a better place is just amazing. And I feel humbled. Thank you so much.
Wow, nice. When you hear these things, you say, "Oh, what are they? What is she talking about? What is this group that she's want to? I want to be part of it." No, but good thing that's come out is goal number 17. What we are doing and what we have to do. When I talk about the World Mediation Circle, actually, it is the goal number 17, which it is taking care of. So partnership for the goals is the important part. And this is where we play a very important role, which I think doesn't get highlighted for, of course, in general, mediation not being highlighted or mediators not being valued. In general, that happens. In this sense, also, this aspect never gets highlighted, that we need people to further goal number 17, which is going to further all the goals and fulfill all the goals. So there's a connection there. So Tina, anything, any summarizing, anything?
Yes, I'm gonna first I just wanted to say thank you. Happy International Peace Day. And what I would say is what I've learned today is we all are very fortunate to share a space where we can express ourselves freely. Sustainable development goals are attainable with grassroots efforts that we start at the local and build. We know that mediation is an amazing and powerful tool. We know that conflict resolution education will help our youth, our children, our youth, develop the skills needed to cope in our ever changing and conflicted world. It only takes one voice and you started this wonderful opportunities. I call them opportunities because that's what they are. There are 17, number 17 is the goal that I see that this today's session focused on partnership for goals. So I'd like to see, really take time to see where I fit into this, what I can do. I started with showing up today to learn, and I've had a wonderful experience in this space. So I think I'm still left with Margaret Mead's never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is, it's the only thing that has, and it's never truer than today. And I thought of you, Vikram. I thought of that quote as soon as I thought of you. That's what you're doing. This is where we're going. And I just feel very optimistic, very, very optimistic about the future. And I think that we start small with grassroots efforts, and we keep going, and we catch on, and more people are going to start joining us about us. So yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. You just start it off and people will come in. There is a Hindi saying in that, but basically I won't say it in Hindi, but the fact is you just start off and the people will just come with you. So I mean, of course you have to start alone maybe sometimes, but yes, people come in as we go along. So thank you very much, all of you. Yeah, all of you. Thank you very much for coming in.
Bye, everyone.
And now work on the ground, Elizabeth. What is it going to be? USA Mediation Circle or Venezuela Mediation Circle? Or both of them? Both.
Both. I'll do everything I can.
Yes. Okay. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Next time is going to be Dr. Ramos. Dr. Ramos is going to be Dr. Ramos?
Pretty soon, next year.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Elizabeth, Tina, Erin, Mandy. Thank you for coming. And we'll see you soon. Yes.